Hi. Well, my producer today challenged me to talk about movies. So, what could be better talking about movies than driving west on Hollywood? Uh, the first time I remember seeing a movie was uh, I went to a little movie theater in Boulder, and I was probably like 4 years old, and um, I will never forget it. I know. I'll tell you more about that later. But um, I wanted to talk more about movies more broadly as a phenomenon because uh, obviously I live in LA. Everyone's always talking about movies, and is this the end of movies? Is this where are we going with all this? The streaming, the Netflix, the Amazon, buying up all the IPs, Disney, the sort of monopolistic practices of these companies, and yeah, is this the end of movies? And I first heard this concept of like the end of movies in 2020 during the pandemic. I was on a date with a writer, and she was adamant. She was like, "It's all over. We're movie theaters are done," and like she's like, I have all this insider knowledge of movie theaters done. This is we're just on the TV from now on. And I never quite believed it, honestly. And over the last few years, certainly huge amounts of money have been thrown at trying to get people to stay home and just watch the screens in their house. They've bought up all the IPs we love, and the all the characters we like, and they're just kind of trying to feed them back on the little screen in the living room. And you know, uh, a huge amount of effort has gone into getting people to quit with going to the movie theater. I think to the extent that now there's not really any too many movies left that you don't want to go see. It used to be there would be like a lot of movies every year. Like growing, I mean, uh, in the '90s was a sort of belle epoque for the movies, and you could rely on a couple of good movies every year. Now we got the Oscars coming up soon, and it's like, ah, whoa, what did I enjoy this year? And there were a couple, but it's a thinner herd right now. It's got to be said. But I want to put that into some context because I think it's easy to look at the last couple of years or like look at COVID and say like, okay, movies are over. But if you think about the broad stretch of humanity, uh, I mean, people have been gathering and telling stories in public spaces probably since there were campfires, but certainly since ancient Mesopotamia, where they would uh, produce ritual plays um, in the temples there, and uh, you know, ever like really the city back then. The first cities in Iraq back then in the Mesopotamia were like the known world, and so everyone in the known world would really be watching the same show. They'd see these dramas, and then you know we got into sort of more, the Greeks certainly carried on that theatrical tradition and refined it, and philosophized about it. You know, uh, started thinking about what stories were. And then uh, later we got printing presses, and we could still cover the known world with the same stories. The Bible, the works of Shakespeare, like a lot of these were very common. And then when we invented movies, we could show something that we hadn't really been able to show before. Well, with more consistency, I suppose. And now those moments can be split up into little chunks and viewed on your telephone. But um, but I'd say it's a different thing when you view it on a small screen. Like the whole thing I'm trying to link up between that is between Mesopotamia, Greece, classical theater, and uh, and movie theaters, is we go out and all watch the same story together because it's telling us all something about who we are, you know, either as uh, as a people, like, and often who we are fundamentally as humans as well. And and I think that necessary humanity in it um, has really contributed a lot to the format we use. I mean, just the thing of going into a theater and there's many seats and we're watching a big screen, like it's it's designed around a person. And then the format of, like, a couple of hours, but certainly less than a day. That's probably like, I mean, I've way back in the day, I went to a storytelling festival where these interesting storytellers would tell stories like Iron John, or um, there were some others, but I mean, this is a minute ago now. And those stories were like about the length of a movie, an hour or two, and everyone would be kept wrapped the whole time. There's because it's a human length for a story. It's you have to after a couple of hours you start having to, like, people want to take a comfort break or eat something or go stretch their legs a little bit, or indulge some other human behavior. And yeah, so these stories are designed around humanity and have been keeping us in trance for upwards of 4,000 years. And I just think that it's that even all the effort that's being made to just turn this into some sort of content or whatever is, you know, uh, I don't think it's going to succeed. I think, like, humanity kind of snaps back to being humanity again, no matter how much you try and push it one way or the other. And I think people will keep gathering, and that's the thing I wanted to say about when I went to go see to go see this movie as a kid. I mean, well, I've managed to talk about movies so far without mentioning a single movie, and and it, I went to this mall to go see when I was like four or so, and I'd probably maybe I'd been exposed to some sort of content or movies on TV before that, but this is the one I remember because we went out to go see a mall to go to a mall to see it, and we were on vacation, and like, and it was Empire Strikes Back, and I remember that minute when the AT-ATs are coming across the snowfields of Hoth, and it was just bigger and brighter and more amazing than anything I'd ever seen. And the sound, incredible, uh, and that music, oof, stirs the spirit, right? And that's movies. I mean, the clue's in the name; they move you, like when they're good. And it's something around being all together and watching them because context is so key. Like when I was that little kid, it wasn't just like I saw that film on a billboard passing by. I was sat there in a movie theater with all my parents and, like, relatives and you know people around me. We're all watching uh, this impressive show, and I've watched films on TVs, and it has a different experience. And I've watched movies even on a plane is a very different experience. I would go as far as to say that every time you watch a movie, like even if it's exactly the same movie, it's a different show. And because it's a different context. You've had a different kind of a day. You're in a different place in your life. You're with different people, and uh, and that context is a huge part of what you're looking at with movies. And people like being out. And oh, this is perfect. And just approaching Hollywood and Vine, where it's all happening. um, yeah. So I think you can no more really crush movies than you can crush the human spirit. I think we're all going to get together, and we're all going to keep just getting together to enjoy stories because they tell us who we are. And I think that's been a challenge of recent times because we've been trying to tell like global stories. Oh wow! I promise you, this one's mine. There are many like it, but this one is. You have great taste, sir. uh, Does that's fun. The car gets some attention sometimes, but yeah. So this is Hollywood and Vine, where the party is at. When I first moved to LA, I asked someone where the party's at. He said Hollywood and Vine. This is it. Um, well, uh, where was I? Where was I now? Yeah, we're gonna keep watching movies. Of course, we're gonna keep watching movies. It's and it would be a strange thought if we didn't, because people like to go out. People like to go out together, enjoy a movie, you know, eat some popcorn. It's a different experience, different posture as well. The an element of hypnosis is if you actually look slightly upwards, which you often do in a movie theater, then it kind of sends you into trance. You look upwards at something and concentrate on a lit point, and if the lighting guy's done his job right, you're going to be concentrating on the right thing on the screen. So I don't know. There's a lot. Well, there you go. I was told to keep it short. There's 12 minutes about movies, but I love making videos. I might keep doing this. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm just gonna switch it on a little bit longer because this is kind of like Hollywood, Hollywood. There's a feel when you say the word, you know what I mean? And it's so connected with this sort of magical feeling of the movies, which is not nothing. There's that feeling of like a safe space to feel how you want to feel because you're feeling it with a lot of other people. And you're watching something that's not, you know, it's okay to feel a certain way in a movie theater and kind of do what you want to do. I don't know. I can't see it going away. I'm gonna stay on for the ride here though, because we're coming up to the. I've talked so long that we're coming up to the bit of Hollywood people always think of as Hollywood, and I don't know how much of it you'll be able to see here. Feeling a little self-conscious talking. Should probably get over that if I'm gonna make more of these videos. But I'll move this up a little so maybe get a better view of Hollywood things. Or even better, I'll just turn it around. Oh, there you go. Now I'm shooting B-roll, probably. Whoa, weird things are afoot in Hollywood. Oh, this must be for the Oscars. Crazy. There's a bit of fun that you. Okay, so we're not actually going to take any sort of a look at the bit of Hollywood everyone thinks of as Hollywood because they're setting up for the Oscars. Is that maybe? Probably. Seems a little early, but they got a week. Wow, this lady drove a Hummer all the way from Florida. No dinosaur spared there. Come on, people. Can we drive? Oh, okay. Yeah, there up there is all the Hollywood bit with Grauman's Theater and the Dolby Theater and all that good stuff. The Oscars is just around the corner. I don't know. There's Mel's Drive-In. That's a wonderful joint for a piece of pie. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up now. We've witnessed the wonders of Hollywood. But thank you so much for listening. This was, I don't know, this was a good one for me. I had a few things to vent about movies. Thanks for listening. And have a great day. Bye bye.